Showtime.
What's it like just reflecting back on this year and how the program and all of your teams have grown this season?
So it's always fun looking back at the summertime when we get new kids, new rosters, new teams that we start preparing, and we're basically skill building all summer. And sometimes we look at each other and we're like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? How is it going to come together? And then you just see the kids, they work so hard all year and everybody gets on board. They really come and speak. So it's fun to watch them come together, and we get our routines in the fall, and then it starts to get fun and you start competing. And then they, especially this team, they've really just come up and made a real showing for themselves this year. And as a program, we've started the summer with new rosters, new kids, and now we're 4-time Jam Fest champions. We had 2 cheer sport champions, 1 NCAA champion, 7 spirit cheer champions. So I mean, they've just really taken off this year. It's really fun to see, and a lot of times we don't see that improvement because we're here every day with them. So we like to go back and watch the videos and we're like, oh my God, can you believe like how far the teams have come? And that gets lost a lot of times.
This season, coming off of last year, with the success we were able to have, level 6 summit champions, level 6 world champions, we debuted this brand new team, brand new level. But for a lot of these guys, they wanted to make a name for themselves. It's the first ever level 5 for A-list. And they've certainly done so. I remember like first summer practices, like we're skill building, and we just sat down. At the end of practice, we said, we're gonna speak our goals into existence. And some of these kids we've coached before, and I felt like last year we did this, their goals weren't big enough. And I got mad. I was like, y'all, what are you doing? Like, hitting your routine isn't your goal. Like, that's a given. I know you're good enough to hit your routine. You know, being proud of your performance, that's all great. I said, but y'all are so talented. You have so much time. I want you to reach like for the moon. You know, when we were at college, we had a saying is like, you know, like strive for perfection, settle for excellence. That's what we cheered at University of Kentucky. That was the thing. So I told them, hey, your goal is to be a summit champion. Your goal is to be an NCAA champion. Your goal is to be a cheer sport champion. And if we train and you guys buy into that every day you're together, even if it doesn't work out, you're going to be really dang good. And you're going to be really proud of everything you've put forward on stage this season. And I mean, their goals for the most part, I mean, they've checked them all off along the way. These guys work hard. They kind of like monitor themselves. They're like the first ones to like offer like critiques and support for each other. I mean, half of them, it's like having coaches on the floor. Like their mindsets, they're like ready to go. They're always tuned in. And that's why they're successful as they are and why we look forward to postseason.
How is your team getting ready for the summit right now? Give us an inside look on the hard work you're putting in right now.
So right now at practices, we're practicing like our summit day warm up. So then there's no like shockers. So we know exactly what to expect and we know how it's gonna go. And we like know that we're gonna have enough time. And if there's not enough time, you know what to do to make up for it. And like during practice when we're doing our routines and our reps, we're not just doing them, we're doing them until they look like what we want them to look like on competition day. If it's not pointed toes, straight legs, we're gonna do it again.
They kind of mentioned it there. This is a special team, the first ever level 5 team here. So how special has it been this season with this group?
So most of us are returning athletes at the gym, but some of us aren't. So it was nice in the beginning of the season to like meet with our old friends and like make new friends and see how we all work together. And I feel like we've all come pretty close. Like most of us are like best friends now and hang out outside of practice, outside of cheer.
Any favorite memories or moments from this year so far?
We had really good memories of winning cheer sport, from coming from second day 1 to going up to first and working our way to winning cheer sport and getting our Jam Fest win. And we were super close to NCAA and we hope to complete it with a summit win at the end of the year.
You guys are getting ready to head to the summit on a full paid bid as well. How exciting was that day when you found out you were going on a full paid bid?
We're super excited to get on a paid bid because it shows that we put in all the effort and we were good enough to be one of the people to get a paid bid. And it was super good that we got it early this season so we don't have to stress about getting it later in the season. And we really just worked to, one of our goals was to get a paid bid. So we have checked off some of those goals throughout the whole season.
As you look back on this year so far, what are you the most proud of?
We're kind of most proud of how we've all developed as level 5 athletes. None of us have been on a level 5 team before, so it was a new experience. And so we're kind of proud of how we've learned it together, and that it was just something new for us all, and that we got to experience it together. We were all proud. We could bond together through like the way beginning of the season. None of us really have had any problems with each other, and we all have really connected quickly and worked our way through hard times. Like sometimes we have hard practice, but we all end up being okay at the end. We'll try our best to let each other know that we are proud of like everyone, and nobody is singled out. And